All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tech Bros. We've been doing this podcast, I think, since February. It's been about 7 months of us covering one company in particular on this podcast called Robinhood. And ladies and gentlemen, Robinhood is now part of the S&P 500. We're in. Roy,
Finally.
How does it feel?
Finally, yes. No, it feels like finally. Like, there's a lot of other good companies out there. There's a lot of good companies that got in, and I'm like, well, at least that's a decent one. It's overdue. It frankly had been. This is a company that's been executing at a high level. It's clear differentiation. It's clear that they're a market leader in what they do. I love it. For shareholders, like you can see the massive pump today, which a lot of it was, related to this. But I love it, especially for those that are working at Robinhood and have worked at Robinhood for a long time.
Yeah.
This is for them, high recognition that this is one of those marks where, when you hit this, you're in the club. You made it. And of course, they're just getting started. And I love Vlad's attitude with that. But no, this is an amazing moment.
Tanner?
I feel the exact same way. I mean, the excitement that we're going to see tomorrow is, sorry, my glasses are fogging, is going to just be crazy. A lot of people, there's going to be a lot of wealth tied around Robinhood tomorrow. And knowing that we got in a few days just before we're all about to meet is going to be such a benefit. I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun. And, but yeah, I mean, it is a real piece of recognition that is like Robinhood's not for kiddie investors. This is a real platform. They're going to show off real products tomorrow, which we can actually highlight too. I wanted to show off that tweet that they put out that they are saying new products are coming. So this is not just going to be demonstration stuff like this of things that you can already do. I think we're going to see some exciting updates. So as that comes out, that's going to lead to, new customers that want on the platform that potentially were missing those tools that they were expecting from a more mature platform. But through the Robinhood style, it's going to have better UI, more usability, and then also cheaper pricing. Most likely than not, they love to use other companies' margin to gain market share by offering a cheaper product. So that's very exciting.
This is pretty cool, bro. Like I was live from a park. I didn't really think it would happen. So when it happened, I was like, oh my goodness. Tanner was traveling. Roy, where were you when you found out?
Likewise, doing a little bit of traveling. I saw the news and I'm like, okay, that's awesome. I don't, I was in the middle of something, so didn't really have time to digest. Well, not really traveling. It was like a work related, but yeah, it's complicated. I'll tell you guys after. If I said here, people would know what I did for a living if I said here. So
yeah, even Tanner didn't fully believe it, right? Like when he called, he's like, did we actually? I'm like, bro, I think we actually freaking did it. And so it was just a sigh of relief, I think, for all of us as well.
I was celebrating, but I was like, man, I don't want to get burnt again. So I'm like, I'm not getting too excited. There were a lot of Bloomberg accounts that were covering it before that all got it wrong. So I was like, this whole Bloomberg thing's not selling it for me. And then I started seeing the screenshots. Yeah. And then obviously we got the official release. They need to get a Twitter account or some sort of better way of communication. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. I
would never want to short the S&P 500, like the index, but the company, I mean, not really. I'm not going to do that, but it's like, my goodness, guys, come on.
I don't want to short them anymore. They put in Hood.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
if they didn't,
but because also it's like, yeah, how were they really going to go another 6 months, 12 months without, we knew it was coming. And the fact that it happened before the Vegas event is so cool because, as you said, Tanner, the employees, everyone's going to be really excited. But I think Vlad's going to have a certain level of swag in Vegas when he's walking around. I mean, dude, 500 companies in America to be in the top 500. It's not easy. I would argue Robinhood's probably top 100. And now definitively that market cap surged, 20 billion today, roundabout. Market cap is 104. Yeah, about 15 billion, 17 billion-ish. up $16 on the day. I mean, well, here's the question. Do you guys think we see below 100 like we did on Friday now with this S&P news ever again? Not ever again, but like in the coming months, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. It's definitely a possibility. If we see a bear market or some news that ends up bringing the stock down, I mean, companies go down, regardless of if they're in the S&P 500 or not. But this definitely helps. You know, you're only 17 percentage points away from 100. I don't know if that's necessarily too, like, that's not even a bear market, let alone the leveraged bet that Robinhood has on the market. That being said, with all of the news of artificial intelligence, crypto, and every other innovation that's going on, do I really think it's going to happen? I mean, that's another piece. But
the problem is too many people would be ready to buy that dip if it gets anywhere near there, because they know the S&P inclusion is happening now, right?
Yeah. Well, like the S&P 500, like that was obviously really good for price momentum, but that does change a little bit for the company, just because they do have some institutional facing products. And the companies do tend to deal with well-known companies, well-respected companies, and the S&P 500 has a measure to do with that. But for the most part, like, that doesn't really drive anything or change anything as far as fundamentals. It does give perhaps a little bit more institutional ownership, which is good, provide some stability. But there's other stuff that we'll talk about tonight that really does drive that bottom line, that bottom dollar. And I think that a lot of the products that they show off as well will. So that's what really would keep them above 100, not so much the S&P 500 inclusion, because anything could happen. Like, we could see, we're still in September. There's a high dose of seasonality, and so we could see the crypto winter even begin in September. I don't expect it. That would be a weird beginning, or a huge pullback, and we fall to like 99, 96. But yeah, long term, like, they are cooking on all cylinders. This is great,
dude. I think sentiment changes so quickly. Like, right now, everyone's very bullish, but imagine if we just keep getting bad jobs reports. The whole piece of news will be, hey, jobs are going away. AI, it's only furthering this problem. This is going to be a 10-year bear run. The people's sentiment can change so fast. We saw that during Liberation Day and other pieces as well. It's like people can go, oh, this is it. This is 3 years of bad luck going forward, and then. So,
I guess the better framing of how I should have asked that was, if we maintain a bull market, do we see below 100? Because that's what I think is, like, if we get a recession, macro downturn,
right,
of course. But if we don't have anything cataclysmic, like Robinhood was at 118 or 117 a month ago, and then it fell all the way down to 93 over the past 3 weeks. And then it just stayed at like 101, 102, right? It was just kind of consolidating there. I don't know if that easily happens again if everything else stays stable, because you have the Trader Summit that we're going to talk about. You have banking coming up. You have a Q3 that we're getting August metrics. I think this week, Wednesday, we get August metrics, and I think those are going to be crazy. And now you have S&P. So I think there's a floor to the stock that has to be, I would say, at least $100. I don't know if it's that easily to go back below it. And hopefully that really helps long-term investors as well.
Yeah, with your assumption. So I think what can actually keep it over 100, because this is something that people are talking about, and look at the forward PE, you look at estimates, they're actually expecting revenue to contract next year. Now, if the next quarter 3 earnings come in and they are actually showing a meaningful increase here, a new all-time high, and it seems like that there's an expectation of that furthering, we may not see below 100 in that scenario. What you said, if like the bullishness, bull stock market, bull crypto market continue rumbling on, for the next year or so, I could see that. But I think that's what it will really take, is either another TAM unlock, which, I mean, they're in the process of doing anyway. It sometimes takes the market a little time to realize that, or revenue acceleration, which we're not at the point now where it's like, oh, they have to accelerate revenue now, but they are. Oh, they are.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I mean, we saw their website traffic for August. I don't know if that or how well that correlates with like trading volume. Crypto was not as strong, or I don't think will be as strong as what we're hoping for. I think we saw that from Coinbase's volume. But it's not about that. It's about the general trend: more gold subscribers, more retirement, and then during the crazes, we are going to see large pops.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I think is really important. That, you know, if crypto ends up going on a big bull run, not just from institutional players, but retail as well, that's where, you know, Robinhood's going to find a lot of that growth is retail actually buying it up. And then things like Open Door and stuff like this, these manic stocks that people find are really good for Robinhood. Cult stocks have been notoriously good for Robinhood. It brings on new users. When people want to buy Open Door, they hear it from a friend, whatever, they're going and downloading Robinhood. They're not downloading any other brokerage.
Or Octo. Do you think a lot of that volume was on Robinhood? Because I do.
I'm not sure.
Ethereum in and of itself creating all these derivative plays, I think, is getting people excited. But I agree with you, Tanner. Like if I mean, Tom Lee said Bitcoin at 200,000 by the end of the year. I don't know if that happens, but like if that were to happen, and forget even that, rates are coming down. Powell or not, they're coming down. So I don't know how, you know, Robinhood doesn't thrive in a low interest rate environment, just like 2021. Now, obviously, I don't want it to get bubbly like 2021, but the point is, if people are max long anything other than cash, at least more than what they've been over the past couple of years with rates at 5%, you're going to just get more trading volumes, more assets that get bid up. And that probably, if Robinhood can keep capitalizing and executing, will happen on Hood with all the other ancillary services they offer on top of it, like banking that's coming up and the credit card. And it just feels like the runway for growth, along with, we'll talk about sports betting. Apparently NFL contracts are going crazy on Robinhood. It seems like Vlad has a plan for the next couple of years to keep this going.
Yeah, and it's further diversification, further TAM unlock. I mean, they're just like, even CBOE had their earnings, and they mentioned Robinhood like 3 or 4 times. They're just they're killing it.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so Vegas active trader event, or Tanner, go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you think that SoFi is going to follow suit into the S&P 500 soon, or do you think we're long time off? Be honest. What do you
12
think?
months. 12 months. Maybe 9.
I don't see why they can't get in next year.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if they keep growing at 45%, I mean, there's a lot of shitty companies in the S&P that I could see SoFi taking its spot. So yeah, I don't see why it can't happen in a year.
Did you guys hear what the fireside chat today?
Yeah.
I heard, I popped in for a second. I complimented you on your haircut. And at the same time, I heard what's his name, Noto, say like stablecoin. He's talking about something crypto oriented, like crypto as a service to banks, but that's all I heard.
Yeah.
He also said the money that they diluted for, I thought they were going to buy a crypto company potentially. He talked about buying an AI company, buying an AI startup. Yeah.
For what?
Well, for banking, probably personalization, help with underwriting. Who knows? I mean, there's...
Yeah. One of the things that he mentioned was, I think that this was probably what it referenced, because I don't think SoFi has anything like this, and I don't think that they could build this easily. Was he talks about that, like some of the features, like, so they have Cash Coach already that they have in development, but he's like, hey, you know, a lot of people are visual people, and it would be great to have an AI that's able to just create basically videos, tutorials to show you, okay, this is exactly how you do this. Since they don't have branches, it's like, hey, that's, but he's talking about not massive acquisitions. He mentioned, I can't remember what he said as far as the sizing, but it was is small, or not minuscule, but for that, and also possibly a crypto one. But the main reason I say it was just opportunistic. It's just like, hey, our price is high. Let's raise some cash. We can use it for a lot of different things.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they have a high cost of debt as well, so I think it's immediately accretive regardless, but we'll have to see.
All right, so active trader event. We're going to Vegas tomorrow, all three of us. If put in the chat if anyone here is going to be in Vegas. We would love to say hi. Get ready to enter the mainframe. That has been the theme of this event. I have literally zero idea outside of understanding they're going to improve Legend, what products they're going to offer. So Tanner, we'll start with you. What do you think they're cooking up for this event?
Bro, I have no idea. This is the only time I've had no idea. You know, so I wonder if it's going to be more tweakier type products. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know what active traders are looking for. That's the problem. Or else I could, you know, Tell me the incentive, I'll tell you the outcome. But I don't even know what people want.
Roy, what do you think they could offer?
So I think this is almost certainly the launch of Cortex officially, or they'll be like, hey, it's coming like next week. If it doesn't launch like right then, mainframe just lines up perfectly right then. Now, Pluto was an acquisition that they used for Cortex. And I remember that the Pluto founder basically said, like, this is the least ambitious thing that they could have done with a startup, which doesn't necessarily mean that that Robinhood might have just acquired them just for that. Or it could be that they've been working a lot of different AI type of products. But when you say mainframe, like I think AI. No, I don't know that it's all AI necessarily, but there's a whole lot of different features that they can do. Kind of like what we talked about earlier with SoFi that they're already doing. I don't think that they're going to go as far out there as like Pluto is possibly heading as far as like AI, like actually managing your trades. I don't know that they could get away with that. Just seems like using AI as much as I do, like the hallucination stuff. I'm like, I don't know. But Cortex itself may officially launch. And, they showed us a demo version, publicly. Everybody saw that same thing at the Robinhood Gold event in San Francisco. But I would imagine because they didn't launch it right then. That was just, prototype early. So they have that probably refined and ready to go, and probably a whole bunch of other things that Cortex is capable of that we've not even thought of. Now, beyond that, I have no idea, but they always manage to surprise me. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, some people in chat saying banking and stuff, but the interesting part about the events for Robinhood is that they're very themed.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is for active traders. So it's going to be trading like product, high frequency products, these sort of things. Think APIs, think different tools, different levels of leverage. That could be a big one for sure. Crypto, I think they came out with perpetuals. They could probably include higher leverage as being part of an active trader tool for, US perpetuals, something like this. I mean, there's so many things that we could speculate on, but banking, I don't know. I'd be surprised if that's what they get all these active traders out there for, and then go, hey guys, we have checking accounts. I'd be like, whoa, that's going to disappoint.
The other thing I'm really curious about, because it's Vegas, so Vegas gambling predictions market. I'm wondering if there's something they launch that is a direct tie into the predictions market. We've seen a lot of UI upgrades. They've expanded that thing. I'm sure we'll talk about prediction stuff in just a moment, but I mean, that if you're going to announce something predictions related, it's going to be in Vegas, probably. Although it might make the people that are there quite upset, but I don't know that Robinhood cares.
I think that's hopefully a great guess. Their prediction markets, as far as I'm seeing, thanks to, Juan Rodriguez, he is showing off some pretty incredible statistics on the amount of volume that they're getting just on a few different sports leagues, let alone what people are betting on for many other predictions, maybe Fed interest rate cuts or what have you. I mean, they have so much, but yeah, here, take, say what we're looking at a bit. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Roy, real quick, is Tanner freezing for you a little bit, or is that just me?
I think that might be you. He didn't freeze for me there. He did.
I see you freezing
earlier, but I have seen you freeze a couple of times in it.
Okay, so it's my fault. It's not your. Okay, it's me.
But you're good.
Okay, well, Roy, you explain.
So Juan Rodriguez has been compiling, basically going in app, because you can't. I don't believe that you can see it after it, but he's doing a lot of legwork of just going in and saying, okay, here's all these college football matches, which is heavily bet upon. The NFL is there. They can't call it the NFL. They have to call it professional football. Can't use the logos because, reasons, but they can put the sports teams there. And so he compiled that between the college football week 2. Week 1, by the way, was amazing. And US Open as well as there, and the NFL. So between those, you tabulate the contracts. Robinhood makes 1 cent per contract traded. Kalshi gets the other. And you have $1.5 million generated in 1 week. Now, it's probably more than that. There are, of course, with predictions markets, you don't have to wait until the end of the match. That if your team is up and you're like up, significantly, and there's still a whole quarter left to play, a lot of people cash out, which triggers another effect because Robinhood in that gets another cent. And so this is kind of the baseline of what they're getting now. as the season goes on, I think two things will happen. One is opening weekends and opening times. There's always going to be a lot more activity as well. But I think that Robinhood is so new into this and this style of market that a lot of people have no idea that this product is even there. It's something that Robinhood has not advertised actively, other than perhaps, just word of mouth. And so I actually think that, week 2, week 3, week 4 might be lower than week 1. But I think as the season goes on, that we'll see that continue to ramp. And I want to make a prediction about the predictions market. I think that this is their next $100 million annual run rate product. I think that they're close.
I mean, are they not already there?
If they're not there, they're very close.
Yeah, because it looks like they're nearly putting up $1 million per day.
Well, no, that's a week. That's a week.
Oh,
$1.5 million in the week. But that's just these events, and that's again the baseline as well. And you also have to keep in mind, like in the summer and everything, they didn't have the platform nearly as well as built out. The UI wasn't there. College football is significant. NFL is significant. U.S. Open, I'm not really sure. I'm not a bettor or a gambler, but the annual run rate, like they don't have to. The lagging stuff that doesn't really matter. It's like what they're doing now. Like it's like, hey, if we keep doing this, we're looking at $100 million. I think that they're going to get there, like within the next quarter or two, especially when we get into some of the postseason stuff. Baseball, of course, is nearing the postseason as well, all around the same time. So it wouldn't shock me if on the earnings call they get asked that question, maybe even by one of us, and they're like, "Yeah, we're like right there. That's our next $100 million annual run rate product." Something that the shocking thing is, a year ago, did anybody other than people working in Robinhood have any idea that they were going to do this? No, and they're just like, okay, $100 million out of thin air. Like, man, and they do that again and again. So it's pretty impressive.
Bro, you sound pretty damn happy for someone who felt it was the most unethical product.
You're putting words in my mouth.
Andy's used it.
I as a shareholder, I said, hey, this is going to make them money. This is amazing. But I also have concerns with people like, hey, they're going to gamble and bet and stuff.
Do you still have those concerns?
Yeah. Yes, but I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks in, somebody posed an argument. I don't remember who, but it was actually really brilliant. They're like, well, yes, that's probably true. But also, and I think that this is absolutely true because I'm seeing the traction that Kalshi is getting and also Robinhood too, that there's going to be degenerate gamblers out there that's what they do. And I'm not throwing hate. I'm just saying, but they don't know how to invest. And all of a sudden they come to the Robinhood platform through the predictions market, and then perhaps they stay and they say, you know what? I've made it really good on college football this year. Let me put 10 grand in NVDA. And that's their first investment stop. Like that's amazing. And so that is kind of a reason to have it all in one. I still, it's personal preference, and throw hate at me, guys. That's fine. Audience, you can do it too. I kind of do wish it was a separate app. It would not work nearly as well, but I mean, it is what it is. They've done it. Many other people have followed as well. And revenue, it's like even better than I expected. So,
but I'm just messing with you, which is why I'm saying that. But it's not you. It was like the uproar on social media when the product came out by all these people like putting out these academic studies about how I'm like, what is wrong with you, dude? Like genuinely, this is how you analyze. You're looking at academic studies from 2005 about the dopamine effects of gambling. Really? That's how you're analyzing a consumer finance product to try to say this is going to be the worst thing? Like none of that this is why it's very important to like understand how to analyze these generational companies. Because as you said, the UI and UX integration has always been the moat. And then offering services on top of that, which is what they're going to do with banking, and we'll talk about that, probably will again be another $100 million run rate product. And to like have a thesis that this is going to be anti-hood or anti the stock price appreciating because of dopamine from gambling, when gambling is everywhere in society, options are a form of gambling. All that uproar turned out to be absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
because Hood's crushing it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, their success in it, I don't think, is why they were worried. I don't know if we've seen the effects that they've been talking about, but still, I don't think there are zero impacts, because buying call options on Open Door is the same shit as assuming the Bengals are going to win. Like there's just no. We have to be honest. There's no difference.
There's just not.
I still do think that there is. I think picking a company, especially in a casino, and saying this is going to be red or this is going to be black. I think it's going to land on this number. I think that is a bad level of gamble, considering that the house is going to they are making it with a lot of your money. I think that the predictions markets, not all of it is great. But there's definitely areas within it where you can have an information advantage over others. And that's investing. Well, investing is a strong word, but that is educated gambling.
That is a sophisticated allocation of capital.
Sure. Not investing. But
I love it.
Now, I don't even partake in it, but I do see how people could have an above 50% win rate, in prediction markets.
Yeah,
and that's all that you need to have.
Legitimately, there's people that know they're this certain domain field very well. They can make really good money off of that. Hey, no shade. That's great.
Dude, there are people that are obsessed with the NFL. I mean, and they like gambling a little bit. Their win rate is probably better than myself, who would just bet on some random teams, which is why I don't do it. But having the ability to do it in Hood, I think, is the most important thing. So
it's impossible to see, but that's the Monday Night Football matchup with Minnesota and Chicago. Right now, almost 13 million contracts traded.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we think there's going to be a market-moving product that is announced over the next 2 days? Meaning, at the gold event, they announced banking, and I saw the stock go up immediately when that came out.
Yeah.
I was at the credit card event in 2024, the first gold event, saw that sucker go from 17 to 20 as soon as they announced 3% cash back. So do we think there's something like that tomorrow?
I think that there could be. There's usually the stock itself tends to react quite well at these events. That's one of the reasons why I cautioned people at the beginning of today. I'm like, hey, if you're in Robinhood, be careful with covered calls. And I did sell some at 130, so maybe that's not cautious enough. I've got some higher than that too, and some that I'm like, you know what? We'll just let this stock do what it wants this week. The premiums are really good though, so it was kind of tempting. But part of that is they keep unlocking more TAM that people don't realize that Robinhood could have. If they do that yet again, I mean, we could definitely see another pump. Even without that, just them launching, I don't think that the momentum here today or what we saw last week has anything to do with expectations on Summit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's buy the rumor, sell the news. I think this is everything to do with S&P 500 and, of course, what's happening with prediction markets too. Maybe the IPO stuff as well.
I think you're completely right. I don't know if anyone's pricing in the event, even though Robinhood is one of the few companies that does go up very heavily on their events. So I think the fact that expectations are so low this time could actually lead the stock to pop even higher if they do come out with something that people have not been expecting. And I would say that the Hood Summit last time have put out products that are probably the most, maybe not the most revenue generating, but each of them is a very, very successful product. Index options, futures, and Legend have all been successes. There's been some questionable talk about if Legend, lives up to its peers. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, is it margin accretive? Is the revenue that's being generated from Legend that would not be generated from the mobile app? And I think that's very much true. So I think that, very exciting, or very excited to see what they come out with. Maybe it's just more tokenization, things like this. I have no clue. I feel like Vlad has not been doing as many podcasts and interviews and has kept a little bit more quiet this time, because I think before we knew everything that was coming because he had given some indication towards it.
I think he's been doing a lot of podcasts, but he's not been talking about what they're going to announce or any hints around what they're going to announce at all.
Yeah, a lot of it's talking about their his actual success now,
or GameStop or all this random shit. None of it's about what really is the next literal product,
or harmonic.
Yeah. Well, I actually, so I met one of the earliest investors in Hood today from Sequoia, and they also invested in Harmonic. And he actually explained Harmonic to me because I didn't know what the fuck, dude. Like, I'm like, is this another LLM? When he explained it, I was like, dude, Vlad's a fucking genius. Like, the way he explained, like, that should be probably, if Vlad figures it out, another $100 billion company.
You think they're going to tokenize it?
I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'd buy some.
Well, one of the things he also did tell me is that the reason they led the Series F in Hood, which was under 10 billion, ironically, retail investors got to buy it under 10 billion as well in 2023, same as the VCs, which is just wild, is because he at the firm really freaking believed that retail was going to be a force in the markets. And Charlie Munger is someone he looked up to, and Charlie Munger said, Sequoia is the best investment firm ever, but I can't believe they invested in Robinhood. Like, Charlie Munger was so anti-Robinhood, and he had to eat that shit for like years, knowing that everyone just hated the concept of what Robinhood was trying to do and just believe that, no, retail's the future. And obviously now we see what has happened. So it's a big deal. S&P 500 is a big freaking deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that whenever you're looking back at these legendary investors, a lot of the things that they say stands true, but their opinions on individual stocks sometimes I find do not.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, they don't fully understand the technology, but the things of patience and double checking your work and all of those things, like, those stand true. But saying, hey, you know what, Robinhood's not going to make it, Bitcoin's not going to make it, you know, some of those calls from Charlie Munger, I don't think will age well at all.
Dude, it's up almost 200% year to date.
Not bad.
Yeah, go one year out. I think it's a 6x.
Yeah. This
Bro.
is ridiculous. I'll take that in a year. That's okay.
And the fun thing is, I don't think any of us have ever said for the past year at any point that it was overvalued. Like, none of us, like, I still don't think it's overvalued right here. Is it expensive? Yes. Like, overvalued though? I don't see that.
That's fair.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
Because they're putting up the growth, right? If they weren't putting up the growth, then sure. But like, you know, they're probably gonna end the year at 50% revenue growth. So
expensive is different. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So do we think we're getting any banking mentions at Vegas or no? Because I don't think we are.
I think I'm going to pull it out of some people, but
yeah, I don't think that's what this event is for. It's active trader stuff. So
got it. Okay.
I hope to find the individual employees that I can prod about. Like, I think Johan was there last time and I was asking him about crypto, but it wasn't about crypto last year. But that's the benefit. And that's why I hope that other companies do these types of events, because there is not better DD than going up to people and being like, what do you actually work on? What, like, what are the events like? Do you really like working? Like, and you can see in their expressions and the way that they talk that they truly believe that Robinhood is mission driven and it's not just a place to work, right? And that's what I feel like you need. And something that Sequoia, by the way, Don Valentine, one of my favorite investors, the founder of Sequoia Capital, is like all about. Founder, and then the actual culture that the business is built on. And you need to find those companies that are completely mission driven, and hopefully we can find a few of them in our lifetime.
I think we found Hood, right? And it's got a long trajectory into the future. Like, dude, honestly, I don't know if I would have said this a year ago. I think Hood can get to $1 trillion in our lifetime. I really think it can. It's not easy for financial services, but I just cannot bet that Vlad for the next 10 years is not going to find new verticals every year, unapologetically, every single year, whether it's a bear market or bull market, and just keep executing. And if you're bullish America, you know, you're bullish the broader markets, you got to be bullish a company can capitalize on that. Like, I mean, dude, they're going to get to $1 trillion in assets probably in a couple of years. They're already at 300 billion.
Yeah, as far as impact on society and market cap weighting as well, very different company. But I think of Robinhood like a Visa. I really think that that's going to be the size, of course, plus inflation of Robinhood's future, which isn't quite $1 trillion. Add some inflation and you're there. So I don't think that's a stretch. I don't think it's crazy. It's just a question of when, I think, not if. Now they have to execute. There's a lot that they have to do right, but there's a lot that they've done right too. So yeah, I'll continue to bet on them.
Okay. Falling Knife, thank you for the $200 super chat. Really appreciate that. Falling Knife actually went viral on Twitter the other day because he bought like 7,000 shares at $100 and he's up a decent amount of money.
Crazy, man.
Congrats.
Crazy. Yeah.
On that. So congrats, man. Congrats to everyone who's been following this journey. I mean, it's been cool, dude. And it's been really fun for like all three of us to be covering it together, right? Like that's why it's fun that we're going to be at Vegas. And like, it's just more fun when you have friends that are personally and emotionally invested in the story, and then the story plays out.
I really don't know. Yeah, sorry. I'm still thinking about what they're going to talk about. But like, is this something that could end up getting the stock above 120, 125, 130? Like, because banking felt like that. I mean, we were looking at the stock as the event was going on. Even during the crypto one as well, the stocks was pumping. And
well,
like, the event's tomorrow.
They're going to need to announce something that the perception of it is so easily understandable for every investor, institutional or retail, that it becomes obvious that you need to buy more. Like banking, so easy to understand. They're going to swallow up deposits.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing. I find that what like Vlad said this on the Cheeky Pint podcast. Active traders it's not even 80-20. It's a 95. 5% of their audience makes up for the high majority of their revenue. And that's active traders. The decisions that they make and the products that they push for this event, that's why it's a 2-day event and not an hour-long event, is that this is the audience that they're catering the entire business towards.
Right.
This is so much more important than tokenization for a few 100,000 customers abroad. Like, that's exciting. That's headline pushing. But this is the one that actually moves the needle. And we don't even know what they're going to put out.
Yeah. Like the other thing, the thought that came to my mind, but I think it might just be a little bit too early because of regulation and the timing of the announcement as well. In Cannes in France, they announced, or they mentioned that they were going to develop the Robinhood chain. They may give more details on that. I think just because of regulation, even with Paul Atkins coming out with that memo last week, that it's just very clear what they're doing with regulation. Noto mentioned that as well, as did Figure's executive president too. But I think that might have to wait a quarter or two just to make sure that they get it right. But if they do announce that and it's very clear, this is not an investment conference. It's not an investor day or anything. So I don't think that they do that. But if they did, and they're like, hey, this also has like all these other benefits, including this massive margin savings, that would be something that would drive the stock too. But again, just a little bit early, I think.
I think, Tanner, that is a very good point. You are right. The majority of their revenue comes from people that are actively trading. And that doesn't mean you're day trading, but like even all of us, at least Roy and I that use the platform, we sell options every week. Like every option we sell, Robinhood makes 46 cents, right? And that is way more than the whatever like 3 or 4 cents they make on someone buying or selling a stock. So like we are not active traders daily, but like we are trading in the market actively, and we make up for the majority of the revenue. So like the products they build for us, and I would love for them to optimize more for option sellers. There's a bunch of ideas I have, but that stuff really will get us to keep bringing money onto Robinhood and keep using it. So there should be market moving announcements, to your point, Tanner, that are announced tomorrow, because literally their entire market is based on this demographic.
Yeah, heavily.
One of those things that, there's a lot of different things that they could do. And like an AI tutorial that helps make these products like the futures market and options as well more accessible for people that don't know what they're doing. A lot of them are just, there's not paper trading either. So like if they announce some things that move that needle, I need to find the quote, but the CBOE earnings call, the CEO that mentioned, like basically they were asked like, how are you going to continue to grow? And they're like, yeah, it's through Robinhood. They announced Robinhood as one of those things, but they said, I think for the options market that 3% of retail are in options, just 3%. And they're like, that needle will continue to move further out. And so like, if hypothetically they announce some sort of product, whatever it is, that just makes it a whole lot more simple, a whole lot more easy for people to understand what that is. And I think they already do a great job, but just for those that are brand new, and that goes from 3% to 6%, that is incredibly meaningful to that bottom line, because that's a very lucrative market. Or for futures, which like I don't have the foggiest of what I'm doing on futures. I just don't. There's not that many good resources out there. You know, some people love futures. They do. That's not me. And so I've not even touched it. I've been a little bit skittish, and I'm so focused on this other stuff. So I don't know. That would be one of those little layup things if they're able to do it right. Also bring back confetti, you know?
I love that confetti. I mean, I think Vlad's going to have some swag at this conference, because so many people over the past 5 years have doubted Hood. And there's one hedge fund dude on Twitter that I really am just not a fan of. This guy always talks shit about Robinhood all the time. And like, he constantly is like paternalistic towards retail. And he acts like, you know, they're just dumb money. Like what the Sequoia guy today, Andrew Reed, he was telling me this whole narrative that it's like smart money versus dumb money, or that Wall Street's against retail. It's like, dude, Wall Street wants to work with retail. Like if Wall Street figures out that Palantir is a real thing, and that a lot of these guys on the internet figured out, you know, what's going on with Palantir, they want to be part of that. There are very few, like literally, there are very few Citron researchers that see a retail name and be like, bubble, I'm shorting. There's not, like, GameStop really did a good job of changing that entire paradigm. And so now retail has gotten so many right that Wall Street's like, we cannot ignore Reddit. We cannot ignore Twitter. We cannot ignore these communities. We cannot ignore YouTubers. And Rocket Lab, Lemonade, Oscar, Palantir, you name, so many of these names have hit, that Robinhood now is just a mechanism for more and more people to discover the markets. And a lot of the hedge fund guys that are against retail they're just wrong. They've been wrong for the past couple of years.
Plus, who bought the tariff dip? You know, that's retail. There was many people making fun of retail. I was a little bit more cautious than I should have been, but I mean, retail went in heavy and got really rewarded. So
retail's really good at buying those fake out dips. I find that in bear markets, they get absolutely killed. Yeah. And once you get into the pits of like despair, it's selling at the absolute lows. That's usually, if you remember
that's not a retail thing. That's everybody. Everybody gets killed, and everyone sells at the lows.
Yes. That's true. But institutions, I find, sometimes have a way of getting out early because they're willing to accept small losses to avoid big losses. I find that there's definitely a side to retail that doesn't want to see any red in their portfolio, so then they end up holding for much longer. In turn, a trade into an investment because it's turned poor.
I think that historically might have been true, but if you look at the Robinhood analytics like, dude, on Open Door, it's net selling on Robinhood, not net buying. Like I think retail's become pretty sophisticated at trimming more than they have just like diamond handing. But I get your point. Like obviously there's a lot of emotion behind retail that ends up just holding a stock till the end. So
yeah, overall, I'm a part of retail. I mean, you know, we all are. Like it's I don't know, a lot of different strategies too, trying to lump us all together.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think do we have anything else to talk about on Hood? Or is that pretty much it?
IPO stuff related to Hood too.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
So there are currently 5 IPO access being offered by Robinhood. Now, other platforms have like 3 or 4 of these as well, but at least for the ones that I follow and track, they offer more than anybody. I think except for maybe Webull. Webull has a lot of the niche ones as well. It's really interesting to me, a couple of things related to this. So the quantity is very interesting because I don't know if it's on this podcast or if it was like a FinTech Friday or it's Mia Tevis, but I know I've talked a couple of times about like, oh man, there's all these massive private companies that and they have no desire, no want to actually go public. Actually, it was here because I know we talked about the Stripe CEO podcast with Vlad, and that Vlad made the pitch, and of course it didn't go anywhere. Stripe wants to be private. And of course, the OpenAIs of the world and SpaceXs of the world get attention. But the reality is, and I didn't realize this, but there's multiple articles on this. There's a great one on Financial Times and this that I linked to this as well. That basically at the top, yeah, they have all the money that they can want and more, and they just keep raising more and more. But almost everybody else there, they're raising far less money than expected. There's a lot more of these startups too with this AI wave, and so I expect that we're actually pretty early into the IPO session, and this benefits Robinhood in a few ways. So if you scroll a little bit further down, and you'll see the annual IPOs chart. Not that one, but keep going. That's the equity that actually fell. Or I can share it on this side. Maybe that'll just be easy. Okay, yeah, right there. That's it. So you can see we're halfway through 2025. Now, tendency in bull markets is IPOs. When they see like a lot of other IPOs go well, a lot of companies are like, hey, maybe we would like to get a piece of that as well. In bear markets, not so much. So I expect that this, as bull market continues on, and I think it'll continue on for a while, who knows so, that we'll see a lot more of these, especially with private equity kind of falling off a cliff, except at the top. Now, how does that benefit Robinhood? Well, of course, retail interest, whenever there's an IPO event, there's a lot of volume that comes in. Traditionally, although there's nothing in any SEC filings, so we don't know for sure, there is usually a take rate for somebody that's doing an IPO to be able to offer it on your platform. That may not be the case with Robinhood. I don't know. So we can only speculate. Now, beyond that, I think that there's a lot of companies too that for maybe some other reasons they don't want to or they can't IPO, or it's too early in their process, but they are starving for funds because it's just all going to the OpenAI and SpaceX and Datadogs that will take Vlad up on his call of saying, hey, let's privatize your equity. Let's tokenize it, rather, your private equity. And like, who else are they going to go to other than Robinhood? Yes, there are some others that have talked about doing this. There's Kraken as well, but Robinhood is the biggest platform. They have led the way with this as well. And honestly, once they are successful with a couple of legitimate companies, a lot of CEOs, shareholders, and businesses are a little bit skittish and skeptical. We saw that, with Stripe's CEO. But once this has been done successfully a couple of times, there's a whole lot of interest and a lot of people will follow, which will, again, drive volume for Robinhood. It'll give better access to these on Robinhood as well, which will bring more people to the platform. And it's this just a feedback loop, a flywheel that continues to make this platform actually accelerate even faster. And so this is, I think, kind of a hidden thing that the market is sleeping on. That's not a small deal at all. That there is a lot of hungry companies out there wanting your money as retail, and they can either IPO, which they will, and that will benefit Robinhood, or they can tokenize, and that will also benefit Robinhood. In the end, own the casino.
Yep, that's a good way to put it. We are the toll road for all financial activity, right? Gambling, banking, investing, spending, maybe protecting one day. I mean, they want to be the toll road.
Okay, so that's what we got on Hoodie. We got like 10 minutes left. Do we want to touch on NVIDIA real quick, or
NVIDIA, Nebius, real quick?
I thought you were going to make fun of me for my Airbnb.
Oh, we want to do that. I was going to wait till the end, but we get there's so many comments.
You can
waiting to hear this. No, let's do this because a lot of people are here. Someone's like, I'm here literally just to hear about Rob.
Maybe be in our next one.
A
lot of people are going to agree with me.
Okay, let's see.
No way.
All three of us are staying at an Airbnb together, and Tanner last week confronted us about a serious thing he needed to talk about.
No, okay.
Guys, he sleeps with a nightlight, okay? He sleeps with a nightlight. He's afraid of the dark. That is it. It's out of the bed. No, I'm just kidding. Why don't you tell them here? All right, go ahead.
I sleep actually in pure darkness, okay? So nightshades, absolutely no light. Any bit of light will affect your sleep. But no, I just said, hey, they send me 3 Airbnb options, okay? There's one with like what was it? 5 beds, 5 baths. And then there was like 5 beds, 3 baths, 6 bed, 3 baths, something like this. Like, and I go, we should get the one with 5 bathrooms. And then they go, why? I'm like, well, so then everyone can have a bathroom. And they were like, what? And I was like, I don't want other men in my bathroom. And then they went off. They're like, that's the weirdest thing. Keep that to yourself. Whatever. I was like, what? Like, you want to share a bathroom with other adults? What are you talking about? Like, and then they made me feel weird. I know 100% of people are going to agree with me.
Okay, but hold on. You have to go further and explain why you want your own bathroom.
What does that mean? I don't want to use a shower that you've been standing in, that I have to go bare feet standing where other people stand. I don't want to. I have to quickly run in there, brush my teeth, and shower. Oh, Mitch just took a poop. No, I don't want to do that. I've afforded a lifestyle that I don't need to smell your poop. You know, and then they make me seem weird. Like I've got some weird thing. It's a bathroom. It's the grossest place in an entire house. We should all have our own.
First world problem.
We don't share sponges anymore. You want to share a sponge? I don't want to share a sponge.
I think we should sleep on the same bed so I can wake you up early, but that's the whole,
I know. Yeah.
No, the reason it was funny is because, like, bro, it was just like, have you ever been to a gym? Have you ever, like, been to a public area? Like, it's just like, he was, like, really concerned that we didn't have our own bathroom. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
I've got four siblings, and we had to split 3 rooms between us. So, yeah, and 1 bathroom, family of 7. So, yeah.
When Sam and I bought our place, we said, hey, we're getting one with 3 bathrooms. I don't want to deal with 1 bathroom, something like this. It's not going to happen. I need my own bathroom. I don't know. I like, but
I will say it's nice, but like there's a difference between nice and necessary. And
we got offered one that had, and then I was like,
well, hold on. Let me just say, I didn't care what Airbnb got. I don't even know what Airbnb got. I didn't.
That alone is a vote for the majority.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was
help me, bro.
Dude, we should have just booked our own hotel rooms in the hotel.
Completely. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why we did it actually makes no sense, bro. Like,
well, I think yeah.
I mean, it came out slightly cheaper, I guess, but like, is it worth $100?
Yeah. Now we're so far away. We're just going to spend it all on Ubers.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is actually kind of stupid planning on our front. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, it'll be fun.
It will be, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun because we're going to share the same bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah, just because there's 5, Tanner, doesn't mean we all have to use different ones.
Someone said this is a top signal. I just want my own bathroom. And you know what?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, the hotel room, I would have had all to myself. And yeah. However, I had my freaking headphones stolen from me last time. That sucked.
Oh yeah, you did. No, the funny thing was,
4 seasons.
Yeah. Tanner was like, well, when you take a shower, I don't want to step into the shower and have your feet fungi. I'm just like, bro, what? Like, what type of, like, are you a billionaire or some shit? Like, you can't, like, deal with, so that's why I was just like, oh, this is, but I agree. I genuinely am on your side. I didn't care what Airbnb we got, but
you know what Amit said? I'm gonna expose your messages to the world. You said, bro, in a serious tone, you said, bro, keep that to yourself. You said
oh, yeah.
People are going to tear into you whenever you hear that. No, they won't.
There was more to what this whole bathroom thing is about than what you're saying. There's still more that you haven't said.
No, what part?
There is. You know what part I'm talking about. The part where you had Sam come on StreamYard and she had to confirm the thing that Roy and I were really like, really? He's that serious about it? That's the part we haven't said yet. And I don't know if you want to say that part.
Don't say it, bro.
This is the actual juice of it, bro.
Don't say it.
No.
Go ahead, bro. Say it. Now, you're the one saying the chat agrees with you. Go ahead, say it.
No, I just said that I don't want people around me when I'm using the bathroom.
No. Okay, let's just say, bro, Tanner cannot stand when he's in the bathroom and people are anywhere near the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's what really made me and Roy be like, why? So if he's taking a poop, he doesn't want anyone within the vicinity of the bathroom or even the room near the bathroom.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is why he really likes it. And that's where I was like, okay, so this is really like you have a thing where you like just can't have people next to you when you're.
Well, yeah, the thing that he's really talking about is like, it's just me. I mean, but I'll tell my girlfriend, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go use the bathroom. You can't be upstairs.
That's the part where Roy and I lost it. And that's where we were like, all right, this
I didn't think you were going to say it. So
I don't know what to tell you. I got, it's just me and her, right? Like, she can move. She's got a laptop. Time to get out. Like,
so when you're wealthy enough, are you gonna like have a whole separate building that you go to and like the guest facility, and you just go over there and do your?
Okay, you want to hear a really funny one? This now it's show and tell. If the hotels don't have like a nice bathroom, and it's like just like a half door to the bath or to the bedroom. I'm like, bro, it's like pooping in the same room as the person who's on the bed. So it's so gross to me. So I either like, I'll tell my girlfriend, I'm like, okay, go onto the balcony. Or if there's no balcony, I'm like, go to the lobby. Like I want to just sit in my own bathroom alone. I don't know if you guys want to hold hands with people while you're using the bathroom. I watched a Mr. Beast video recently, and it was like, oh, could you be with your ex for 30 days or whatever for $250,000? And they had to be handcuffed to each other. But to use the bathroom, there's like a slit at the side of the door. So then the other person just has to stand right outside of the door. And that alone would have kicked me out I would not have been able to survive because there's no way I'm pooping in front of somebody that is an arm's length away from me. There's not a chance because that's just gross.
Once you have a couple of kids, you'll get over that.
I'm sure I will. But right now I'm kidless. And
I do have to say, shout out to Sam, because the fact that she's just like, she goes with it and she's like, yep, this is his thing. And I respect it. I want a girl like that one day.
She's awesome. Yeah.
She is awesome for that. So,
well, thank you guys. Yeah.
All right, so we got that out of the way. Now everyone knows. Most people agree, dude. I'm saying most people agree with you in the chat that, like,
of course,
they went their own bathroom. So
everyone's like, "Oh, he sleeps to the nightlight. He needs a teddy bear."
Oh my god,
that's fun.
Okay, so yeah, Nvidia is Nvidia dead because of Broadcom? Tanner, what's going on?
No. I think there was comments about market share taking and a fourth extremely large customer, but we'll have to actually see the impacts of this on NVIDIA. I mean, it's not showing up in the numbers. NVIDIA is growing faster than the market currently. Until that changes, I've got no reason to doubt it. However, I did think about, you guys tell me if I'm crazy or not, the percentage of my portfolio that I have in NVIDIA might be too big. And I've always talked about potentially trimming back and putting some of that back into Tesla. But now I'm thinking maybe I put a little bit into Broadcom, put a little bit into TSMC, and just go full semi infrastructure. Maybe that's not diversified enough, but those companies do not just make GPUs, right? I mean, they alone are so diversified, and I just wonder if that's the play. I mean, am I betting on more compute power today versus 10 years from now? I mean, like obviously there's going to be more going forward. So
you can still kind of stay in the same theme and do like energy. You could do data centers. You could do like air test systems. There's a lot of different spinoffs from that aren't necessarily picking a single winner, but should do well pretty much no matter what, as long as this wave continues. But yeah, I mean, like that's not crazy. And TSM, it looks pretty attractive. So I don't think that's too wild.
Okay, so put in the chat, would you trim NVIDIA if you're up a ton on it and diversify into Tesla or into the other semiconductor ecosystem plays? I don't hate the semiconductor idea, but this $1 trillion package for Elon makes me kind of think he's pretty motivated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I feel like Tesla is not the craziest idea.
Yeah.
No, I do want Elon exposure. I mean,
what if Elon were to use the same bathroom as you? Would you still want Elon exposure?
I mean, I'd have to think about it. But for real, I think that you can't undermine the fact that he is potentially, like, going back to the Sequoia theme, one of the greatest founders and the greatest, one of the greatest like leaders that cultivates mission-driven, like businesses, communities, culture. That's the word I was trying to think of. I was trying to find culture there. So I do want exposure 100%, but he almost has his own portfolio at this point, and picking which one is another interesting debate, I guess. SpaceX definitely seems interesting.
Roy, would you pick Tesla or Broadcom in terms of diversifying?
I'd probably pick, it's probably neither, honestly. But if I had to choose one of those, I'd pick Tesla. Broadcom, I think, is really solid, really good. But I like, again, hyper concentration, and so I picked NVIDIA over Broadcom. Broadcom has outperformed recently. It has outperformed over the last year as well. It's a really, really good, solid company. And so I have little doubt that they'll continue to succeed. With Tesla, they're either going to do amazing, ridiculous things, or it's very pricey and it's a big opportunity cost. I don't know that like Tesla's going to trade back at the level of Gordon Johnson and the bearish people think, but I mean, Optimus is still a little ways away too. So that's really the huge growth vector, more so than robo-taxis is and full self-driving. Those are good things. Those are not small necessarily, but Optimus is really what I'd have to be convinced on. And with that little strange demo that they had with Benioff and Elon Musk, I kind of liked it just because it showed things as that they really were, with the LLM that they had in there and the stutter and the awkward stepping and everything. But
they truly were.
Yeah, but it really shows that, at least on the consumer side, but I also think on the commercial side, we're a ways away from meaningful revenue.
It's always weird, right? You see one demo of it going extremely slow, and then you see it busting out the most insane, fast-moving dance moves, and then you see it not being able to lead you to the kitchen, and then you see it doing backflips and it is so hard to put your finger on this product right now. And the hands on the Benioff product didn't even look like it looked like molded, just like mannequin hands.
So that could have been a cover of, or just that they're like, hey, we're not. This is just a demo bot. It's not going to do anything else as well.
Yeah, it could just be that one.
But I think that, to be fair, other than Figure, which had the bot that did the same actions with the packages for like an hour, that's, I think, most of what's happening with humanoid robots right now, is that they'll do like maybe 20 takes and they'll piece together like a take that makes it look amazing, which you can do. So I like the realistic, but it also like shows where they're at. I think Tesla, because they have the ability to scale, they have the best chance to anybody. But I'm not really ready to allocate more into Tesla. There's, I think, other more exciting opportunities. BMNR, we didn't even have a chance to talk about tonight. By the way, Nebius, I don't know that we'll get to tonight, but congratulations, Nebius shareholders, to that massive partnership. That's really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I have a hunch that, of course, Q3 numbers, I think everybody knows that they're going to be very good, because that demand level was driven very far forward. And Q4, I think, is going to be a massive disappointment. I don't know if the market really appreciates and knows how bad a disappointment will be. Now, we'll see some of those not quarterly, but monthly delivery numbers to give us a hint. But if they are dismal and abysmal, that's a real opportunity, I think, to get into Tesla at a much lower level. But that may not happen. We'll see. I am still positioned in the stock. I like the position that I have, and it's very small. I just don't see a reason to make it substantially larger.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy to diversify into Tesla.
I'm seeing a lot of people agree with me in chat.
Let's do a poll. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna say simple. Do you agree with Tanner?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't they? Like, everyone wants their own bathroom, right? So, like, it's just the way you told us. It was funny because we're like, dude, we should have just done our own hotel rooms. I still don't get why we did an Airbnb. Like, I don't know if it was that much cheaper for us to do that.
I also think it's still going to be nice, especially if Chris Patel ends up coming down and everything, that like we'll have a place to actually be able to entertain a little bit than
Sure.
stuffing everyone into one hotel room to do interviews that one time. I don't know. It's a different feeling.
I don't think they ever even got posted, bro. I've never seen those interviews.
That's blackmail is what that is. So
yeah.
62% of the audience agrees with Tanner. There you go.
That's shocking.
Yeah. For something that he was like, hold on a second, Tanner. Can we tell the audience? Oh, Tanner likes his privacy. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't know if you really were okay with telling everybody, but I thought it was hilarious. Why don't we give you a bathroom in the Airbnb and all four of us will deal with the other two bathrooms?
I mean, I was gonna ask.
I don't care. Like, as long as you feel comfortable. So
I was trying to think about how I was like, can I pay extra? But then if I pay, like, it's just so silly. I should have just got a hotel room, but I don't know.
Dude, and Chris got a hotel where the Virgin whatever hotels, and he said they were super cheap. It's like not like they were expensive at all.
Yeah, because they want you to gamble, right? They're not even expensive.
Yeah,
I don't even think we really looked at the prices. But whatever.
Dude, that's Airbnb's moat. It's like whenever you're thinking of staying with friends, you just automatically assume Airbnb. But it's like the experience isn't that much better than a hotel. Yeah.
It's a pretty nice Airbnb though, so we'll see.
It's gonna be nice. I think the harder thing is just gonna be how far we are.
Yeah. Says the hotel was about double the price. So yeah.
The hotel was double?
Yeah. That's what he said. Yeah. That's what I remember too, but I only looked at the one, so
yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, then that makes sense.
We will be back next Monday. We'll have a lot of content, all three of us, on Twitter. So all three of our Twitters are in the description. You can follow us there. For anyone who's there, we'll be excited to see people. Yeah, dude, I'm just really happy they got into the S&P before this event. My personal price target for end of year has been 120 for about 2 months now. I think we're on track to get there. Could I see that being exceeded? Yeah. But it seems like this should be an event that hopefully has a catalyst that the market recognizes again, fuels Robinhood, and S&P 500 just going to be so cool to celebrate with everyone who's been part of the journey.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Thank you everybody for being here. Congratulations, S&P 500.
Crazy. We actually did it, man. And now the S&P 100, NASDAQ 100, there's still more that we can accomplish, but that's for a later date.
It's pretty
maybe not that much later.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, there was a guy on the market open today who said his wife was in labor while he looked at the stock spiking up, and he was like, okay, I can go back to focusing on and I'm sure there's so many other stories of people, not just on the S&P 500, but that have experienced, dealing with the company and the stock and all this stuff over the past couple of years. And it's really special. It's very rare to find a story that catalyzes millions of people across the world that actually goes from 7 to 100, right? That actually makes a move like that, which means even if you got in at 40, you could be really late and still be there. And that has a runway that you can legitimately see this not stopping for the next decade. So it's exciting. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We will see you guys next Monday, and we'll be posting content from the event. And whoever's in Vegas, we will see you guys there in a couple days.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.